Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is I, NihonTiger, and welcome back to Project Cars.
Let's see if we can't nail the pole man right off the start.
Yes.
Focus on the lights.
We are at the Circuit de la Sarthe in a BMW Z4 GT3 because today, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day in the racing world. It is a 24 hours of Le Mans right here at the Circuit de la Sarthe in real life. But we are racing on a digital version of that track to celebrate the facts and talk a little bit about the track and about the race and what I like about it. But first things first, we got a Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG on our tail that we gotta keep an eye on. So we go through the S's here. And then got, going off a little bit, the S's. So as we head off of Tertre Rouge here and onto the Mulsanne Straight, which is part of a public road. Talk a little bit about the circuit. It's 38 turns, 8.46 miles long, near Le Mans, France, which is why it's called 24 Hours of Le Mans. And it does race on public roads a little bit. And we just hit the rev limiter on our engine. And here comes Mr. Mercedes-Benz behind us, drafting to pass us, and nope. Okay, so we'll go off in these little chicanes on the Mulsanne Straight, which have been added within the past decade or two because the cars go really, really fast. And this is a public road, so normally during the year, people are driving on this, and for like 2 weeks a year, it becomes this incredibly long straight. And there's the rev limiter again. And this time he's going to try and pass us on the inside. We're going to brake. And these chicanes are actually... Oh, he passed us. But these chicanes are actually part of the roadway. And we'll pass them again on the outside. They're just normally... there's some barriers out there to kind of keep them away from the rest of the road. So you can kind of drive the whole circuit, well, most of the circuit. It's still a lot on public roads. And this is the Mulsanne corner. There's a roundabout, a rotary to our left there. That's an actual rotary that people drive through every day.
This guy's right on your gearbox.
Yes.
See if you can pull a trick on him and slow down in the middle of the last corner and try and punch your way onto the straight and break the slipstream.
Maybe we can do that. Nice advice there, Mr. Race Engineer, but sorry, I got a dry throat. But yeah, this is an actual road that you can drive on. There's houses. People actually live on this road, and I have to say they probably have the most awesome Airbnb houses right there. And these are... Oh, there we go. Oh. We went wide at Arnage. We're good, though. We went wide there, but we're fine. So, yeah, this is still public road right here. You can see there's some actual houses, people, someone who lives there. Hello. But, yeah, it's a very long track, and then it kind of turns off here onto the purpose-built roadway in the Porsche curves, and these curves were kind of rebuilt to keep the cars off the roadway. But you're still on public roads for most of the circuit. And then we're going to come up here through the Porsche curves. As we get through there's a famous landmark to the left there, that Ferris wheel. Very famous landmark here at Le Mans. As we come up here to the Ford chicanes, which are two very quick left-right chicanes. And then we're back onto the front stretch, into the Dunlop curve.
You're leading by 1 second. Try and extend the gap.
And then the Dunlop chicanes. So the Dunlop curve right here, and then the chicane coming up as the Dunlop chicanes. And then this goes right into the S's that we talked about before. But yeah, this is a very tricky track. and it's a very awesome race. I mean, it's one of the few 24-hour races on the calendar year round, and they're all at big man tracks, all very, very difficult tracks to master. Daytona, Nürburgring, Spa. Other courses too have smaller races, shorter races. There's the Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. There's 12 Hours of Sebring at Sebring International Raceway down in Florida. I think, Suzuka has 8 hours of Suzuka, but that's for motorbikes, not so much for these guys. But going through the chicane a little slow. But yeah, what's really awesome about all of these things, and there's another traffic circle right there. But what's really awesome about all of these races is just kind of the competition to actually win Le Mans is just insane. Like, it brings out like every major automaker nowadays is trying to compete to win this. And there's 4 different classes, so you don't all have to have the prototypes to win it. You can have a GT car that wins it, and it's still just as great. Ask Chevy about that. Ask GM. That's what they've been doing with their Corvettes. The Corvettes, they race in various series. They might race in World Endurance Championship. They might race in the two-door series here in the U.S. But really, it's all kind of leading up to Le Mans. Everything is like a warm-up for this race. And some companies compete in some of those, but they don't compete in Le Mans. Like Ford doesn't really compete. They compete in the Tudor series. They do Daytona. They do Sebring, but they don't do Le Mans, except that might be changing. They might be getting back into it in GT. But keep hitting that rev limiter. That's what's letting this guy catch us. Oh, guys, he's got a full head of steam on us. Speed. Come down here into Indianapolis corner. Just this left-hander, and then Arnage, just a similar right-hander. So get through these a little better this time. Thank you. But yeah, you see such competition between all these different cars and all these different classes, and you might be competing for overall win if you're racing like prototype, but the stuff even further down is just as intense of a rivalry, and to be racing for 24 hours, even with the driver changes, you're racing these shifts like 2 or 3 hours at a time, just going around this circuit, going through every corner, and I can't even imagine doing this in the middle of the night. I think I've done it in the first grid. I think had a thing where it would let you race at nighttime on the Circuit de la Sarthe. It was just scary because you can't see anything, even with all the modern advances and whatnot in racing. There's no lights on most of this track. It's just pitch black darkness. The only thing you see is the road ahead of you through your lights, maybe the lights of the people in front of you. It's just incredible how scary that this can be, and not just the high speeds. You get into an accident, your car flips over, or it goes tumbling through, a sand trap somewhere. It's legitimately frightening. I don't know if I could actually do it for more than maybe like an hour. I think at some point I would just be like, well, I've had enough of this. Can I come in please and switch? But yeah, you have to respect the drivers who can kind of do this. There's teams of 3 drivers that are doing this. They're racing 8 hours each on this track. It's a tough task, especially when you're in one of the faster prototype cars. You're coming up on these slower GT cars. There's been a lot of really bad accidents with cars, just kind of. Oh wow, he's really far back. He must have slipped somewhere. So I broke my slipstream on him. That's good. But there's been a lot of really nasty accidents, especially coming down into these chicanes in the Mulsanne Straight. But yeah, it's just really frightening, but at the same time, it's really awesome to see all these companies competing against each other.
Leading by 3 seconds.
And
Protect that gap.
it's even sometimes like internal fighting. Like Audi and Porsche are both owned by the same group. They're both owned by the Volkswagen Group, and you know they're going at each other's throats over this. You know, Porsche wants to dethrone Audi because Audi's been kings of Le Mans for so many years now, and you know Toyota's stepped into it. Nissan is in this year. In the past, you've had Bentley racing against Audi. It's and that's just prototypes. I mean, you go further down, you got Ferrari against BMW, against McLaren. In fact, the McLaren guys, I think when they originally did the F1, they pretty much did it because there's rules with racing where you have to have a street version of your car and produce a certain number of them. And so they had to make the F1 in limited numbers so that they could go out and race it. I mean, you've got McLaren versus Audi versus Lamborghini versus Dodge versus Chevy versus maybe Ford, like versus BMW versus Porsche. It's just so incredibly awesome to see one race that brings together so many different manufacturers for even if it's just for bragging rights. It's a stupid race. It's just for bragging rights, probably, you're thinking, right? But yeah, it is, and it's just so cool because you have all these debates in all these other series about this car is better than this car, this company's better than this company, and Le Mans is kind of like a series where you can say, okay, or it's a race where you can say, okay, put up or shut up. Whoever wins this race is kings for the year. You get to have that title for a whole year, and also forever. But for a whole year, you get to have that title of being the reigning champion, and it's just really cool to see that. You don't have that in F1 anymore since they have become so expensive that a lot of the manufacturers have kind of gotten out of it. But with these endurance racing series, you still kind of have that. And Le Mans is kind of like the big convention for endurance racing, where everybody comes together and races, and we get to see who's on top, who's the best.
Great driving. What a win. Fantastic job.
Awesome. So yes, we did indeed win that. Nicely done. We get to hold on to this for a whole year, probably, of being Le Mans champions. Woohoo! But yeah, make sure if you can check it out today sometime. It's going on right now. Make sure to check it out. Check your local listings to see who's got the coverage in your area. It's going to differ between what country you're in, who your broadcasters are, and whatnot. But yeah, make sure to check it out if you like it. Hope you get into it. But yeah, that's a bit it for me. We've done our part. We've won our race. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you once again very soon around the track.